do that. And welcome to this afternoon to the Pathfinder Camporee part of the E-Camporee. This afternoon we have the exciting honors to start. We have the new honors, that's those that are related to the senses. And I'm glad you're back with us this afternoon. I hope you had a good lunch. For those of you Pathfinders who were there for this morning's session, the adventurers, the quesadillas and the mug pies, mug cakes, those were looking delicious. And I don't know if you made any of those, but I had some good lunch as well. So I hope you've had a good time. But this afternoon, we have with us two of the best presenters for this site honors. In fact, we have one of them who was part of developing this honor, and her name is Flory. And we have Jonas.
Hello.
Flory is from the Filipino International Church, and Jonas is from Swindon Church, and they have got good, long experience in pathfindering. Flory has been a master guide for several years, and Jonas comes all the way from Italy, and he's been a pathfinder, a master guide more recently than Flory, but they've got some good energy that they want to share with you. So as they start the site honor this afternoon, we're going to have a word of prayer as we start today's session. This afternoon session. Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Father in heaven, thank you so much for this hot day outside. Thank you for the opportunity that we have to understand more about our senses, and starting with the sense of sight. We pray that you would be with Flory and Jonas as they present this honor, this new honor to the Pathfinders, and we pray that everyone will have a good time today. In Jesus' name, amen. Over to you too.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Wish you all the best on this here. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
Okay, just to mention, actually, quite a lot of the work has also been done by Patty from London, Ghana. So thank you so much. So without further ado, we're going to start because we only have about an hour. And just to remind you, parents and guardians, please make sure that if ever the Pathfinders have difficulty actually writing stuff, just take pictures or photos of our PowerPoint and just come back to it later on and write it down. Yeah. Also, another thing is we request everyone's participation because, as I said, we have limited time. So when we say do this, do it straight away, or write this, write it straight away.
All the activities, all the exercises, everything you're doing here, you have to do at home as well, okay?
Thank you very much. So let's begin. Our first slide. Okay, once again, immediately an activity. So this will require only 2 minutes. So 2 or 3 feet away from you, guardians, please select an item that you will put 2 or 3 feet away from the Pathfinder. Get ready with the blindfolds. We've got this. Okay, so blindfolds ready?
You can use your scarf as well to blind yourself, okay? Like that. Okay,
so the idea is for the Pathfinder to locate this item. Ready? 2 minutes starts now. Okay, get going. So look for that item. Timer. Okay, make sure you time how many seconds you've actually found it. Once you've found it, that's great. If not, keep looking.
Yeah, keep looking. It'll be easy, okay? I can see everything, so it'll be all right.
Okay, once you've actually found it, put the item aside, and now don't remove your blindfolds yet. Once again, dear guardians, put that item about 5 feet away from the Pathfinder. And now, Pathfinder, remove your blindfold and locate that item. Ready? Go! Keep looking. Looking, looking, looking.
Easy. Come on. Walking straight.
You've got no blindfold now. I think that's probably 2 minutes up. I'm sure you've probably have found the item. So that's good. Now, how did that do? Okay, well, let's find out. We're going to, as I said, know more how God made this beautiful sense, the sight. and we'll find out how it actually works. Listen and pay attention.
We're gonna ask you some questions and join the
With
program, okay?
Chloe and the Nerve.
Can you hear that?
Nerb, just because eyeballs are the size of ping pong balls doesn't mean they make good ping pong balls.
A Nerb cannot be blamed for his love of scientific exploration, my dear Chloe. It is what makes him a Nerb.
Then can we use the eyeballs to explore how an eyeball works instead?
We could, but these are kind of small and...
Squished.
One might say that.
How about we take a look at him?
Most excellent idea! Let's do! The eyeball is a beautiful machine with lots of different parts working together to let you see.
Poets say the eyes are the window to the soul.
Well, the window to the eyeball is the cornea, a dome of clear tissue up in front of the eye that focuses light as it passes through. Look at that beautiful green eye, and brown eye, and blue eye.
The colorful part is called the iris, right?
Yep, it's right behind the cornea. In the middle of the iris is a black circle called the pupil, an opening that lets light into the eye. The iris has muscles attached to it that change its size, making the pupil bigger and smaller to control how much light gets through.
So the pupil gets smaller when there's a lot of light and bigger when it's dimmer. Don't look now, but I think we're being watched.
Ha! He blinked first.
Which is a good thing. Blinking protects and moistens the eye.
Good point.
So what happens after the light has passed through the cornea and the pupil?
The light passes through the lens.
Like the lens in a camera?
Precisely. The lens focuses the light onto the back of the eye, where seeing really starts to happen.
Can the lens in the eye focus on stuff that's close and stuff that's far, like a camera lens would?
It sure can. Let's head inside to see how. Last one through the pupils, a rotten egg. The lens is held in place by a bunch of fibers which are attached to the ciliary muscle. Ciliary, ciliary, ciliary. The ciliary muscles change the shape of the lens to let the eye change its focus from something close by to something far away.
What are you waiting for? Let's get focusing!
To see something near, the ciliary muscle makes the lens thicker. To see something far, the ciliary muscle makes the lens thinner. From the lens, we travel to the retina, the back wall of the eyeball.
Right, because the lens focuses the light onto the retina.
The retina has millions of light-sensitive cells called rods and cones. About 120 million rods and 7 million cones in each eye.
Whoa, that's a lot of rods and cones. What's the difference between them?
It's the difference between black and white and color. The rods see in black, white, and shades of gray and help us see the shape and form of a thing. Rods also help us see in the dark.
And the cones see color?
Cones are sensitive to one of 3 colors, red, green, or blue. Together they let us see millions of colors. But cones need more light than rods to work well.
Hey, what's this thing behind the retina?
Hey, no bouncing on the optic nerve. It carries messages to the brain about what you're seeing. The rods and cones change the colors and shapes you see into millions of nerve messages. Then, those messages are carried along the optic nerve to the brain.
It's like your eye is sending the brain a report on what you're seeing.
Then your brain translates the report into cat, apple, or bicycle.
Or a ping pong ball. Keep your eye on the ball there, Nerb.
Oh, It's on.
We will continue with the next slide. Right click. That's it. Okay, now on to the functions of the eye. Okay, tell us, what do you think is the function or a function of the eye? Okay, if you said to be able to see, you're correct. The next, of course, light perception. Number 3, you can see it there so that you can see different colors. And number 4, to gauge depth, whether something is thick or thin or deep or, you know, shallow. But how important is the eye? I'm sure you're going to say very important, because it lets us avoid danger. It makes us form relationship, because when you look at somebody's eyes, you can see love and concern and gentleness. And also, if your eyes are not working, other senses are heightened. Or let's say, for example, you can't hear very well. That means you're more likely to actually see things in detail. And many other things, of course. Next one. How big is the human eye? You've heard it there earlier on. It says as big as a ping pong ball. So if you could actually feel inside here, if you close your eyes slightly and feel for that ball right there, you'll be able to feel a part of that ball inside your eye. Okay, next. Now we're going to see, if you have your worksheet with you, you have label the parts at this time, number 2. So the smallest, if you can actually see there, the smallest or circle that you can see there is called the pupil. The next bigger circle is actually the iris. That, as according to the video, actually, you have many different colors of irises. So there are blue, when you say blue eyes, that's actually the iris part. Okay, we also have the cornea, if you can look at the bottom part of that page, the cornea, which is the covering of the outer eye. And then you have the lens just underneath the iris or the cornea is the lens that looks like a concave thing or an elliptical or oblong shape. And then you have the eyeball inside, which is filled with vitreous humor or sort of like a jelly-like fluid. And then you have the retina, which is the back of the wall of the eye. And then you have the very last part there, the optic nerve, which carries signals up to the brain.
Yeah, we saw everything, the parts of the eye there, but what the white parts do? Why we have a white one?
If I look at your eye, that white part is called the sclera. So it's not there, but that's the spelling, sclera. Okay.
What's happening if you're all blind?
Well, it would still be there. It's just sometimes, because there are many different kinds of blindness, so sometimes you still have the sclera, but you won't be able to see. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Next slide. Okay, now more into, I know that this is probably too much, but take a photo, parents. We'll just go over it, and I cannot see that very well. Okay, anyway, from left to right, from the outermost part of the eye, just have a look at it. And it actually says there the cornea, which is transparent and focuses the light, and it actually sort of like directs it to the inner part of the eye going to the retina so that it can actually be gained by the optic nerve and be the signals given to the brain. And then you also have the next part there, the two little sticking parts there. That's the iris, and that actually changes the size to control the light that goes in. So as you know from the video. Next, you have from the top, you have what contracts to change the lens shape. That is actually the ciliary muscles. At the bottom part, it says it supports the lens, and that is your ligament. And then at the top, or the middle part, it says focus the light onto the retina. So from the cornea to the lens, go straight to the retina. and the most right part of that slide at the very top contains light receptor cells. That is the back wall of the eye, that's the retina. Next, tough outer coat, that is actually the choroid. And then the most lower part carries impulses to the brain, and that is the optic nerve.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, number 4, we have a lens in each of our eyes. Okay, write it down there that we are in number 3. We have a lens in each of our eye. This is a convex lens, and you can see there the different shape, concave versus convex. It will actually mean that when the light comes in, if you have a convex lens, it would refract in the middle of, inside your eye, and that's how you can see. And we will know more the importance of that later on. Next. Okay, the job of this lens is to
Focus the
Yeah.
light.
so we can
See.
see. Okay, so keep writing. The red letters are actually the answer to the questions. Next. The point at which the rays cross is called the focus or the focal point, and this has been mentioned earlier on. It will be mentioned further. The light is refracted, means bent, as it goes into the retina. So it goes from outside to your cornea to your lens, and then it goes inside because it's actually convex. So it actually goes that way. So where that point meets, that is your focal point. Okay, this will all make sense in a while. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna explain it more better. for you.
Sure. Just a break.
Yeah. You can see the black spot over there.
Yeah. Okay.
You can
So
see
this
that? The
is
white or is all black? White or black?
the dots. We're
The dots
referring to
over
the
there.
dots. Okay. Can you see black? Can you see white?
Which one you see? White or black?
Okay. So in this optical illusion, it seems that there are black. Our eyes playing tricks on us. It looks like there are black dots, but there are no black dots. Next. That was just a break, because the next are more, more rigid and there's more information coming on.
More
Okay.
work to do.
I know. But don't worry, you're enjoying it. Let's be positive. Okay. Now, this is how, from when you see light and how you actually are able to see. So this goes, you're going to number the position. So number 1 is at the very top. As you can see there, the red numbers are all the answers to the question. Number 1, when you look at the object, light reflected from the object goes through the pupil of the eye, the small black dot in your eye, and then it goes, number 2, the iris. Okay, you may read.
Yeah, and also that controls the size of the pupil, allows the correct amount of the light to enter your eye.
Thank you, Jonas. And then number 3, after that, the light, the cornea and the lens focuses the light onto the retina. Number 4, an inverted image. So it's actually, when you look at the phone, you're looking at the phone from inside the retina. It's actually inverted, but then because it's refracted back, then you will see the right way up. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is when the image forms on the photoreceptors in the retina, chemical reactions produce and electrical impulses that travels up to the optic nerve to the brain. See how amazing God made our eyes? That's great. Okay, number 6, your brain sorts out the image. So if you can see an apple, then you will see an apple, and it will tell your brain, your optic nerve will carry that impulse, and it will tell you it's actually an apple.
Yeah, because all the information your eyes send it to the brain. So that's the main
Correct.
things.
Correct.
You can't see apple in your brain, say it is a pear. It's different.
Correct. Now, next one, we are in number B, letter B. We are still in number 5. Okay, so this one is just really a difference between ophthalmologist and optometrist. Okay, what is an ophthalmologist? He or she is a medical doctor who specializes in examining, diagnosing, and treating eyes or eye diseases. So they're usually, as you can see there, they're usually the ones who actually do the surgeries and do treatments. Of course, the optometrist does that too, but they're actually trained health professionals. Then they're trained to examine the eye, and they're the ones who actually prescribe your glasses. Okay, I know this is a bit vague, but it's a matching thing. So visual acuity test, what is that? It just goes straight. And it's a person who reads an eye chart to measure how well you actually can see. The visual field test, it measures the peripheral part of your, the peripheral vision. And the tonometry is actually used to test for glaucoma. It measures, it determines the pressure inside your eye. Okay, next. Right, rods and cones. You remember this earlier on. So as you can see, the rods on the left, it's actually gray. So that means it's usually, these are the colors you see in the dark. And just to mention, rods to help you see. It's a lot better, right? Like in the dark, you need a cane. So that's how you can remember rods. As for the cones, it's 4 colors. Next.
Yeah, just don't forget, guys, you can get all the spreadsheets for the SEC website, okay? SEC Pathfinders, all right?
We're going to have a break.
Yeah? You have a break? Just 1 minute?
Yeah.
1 minute, okay?
Yeah.
So, guys, you can just stand.
Jump up and down.
Yeah, jump. Yeah.
Drink water.
Run. Drink water. Yeah. Stretch your arm. Yeah. Your neck. Because you're going to do some exercise when I meet. Okay? Okay, guys? Ready to go? 1 minute to go? No. Okay? Just run a little bit. Okay? Circle. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. That's it. We're back. Okay.
Oh. The most amazing animal in the world is an eagle. Do you know why the people say eyes of the eagle? Just because she can see everything miles away. It's a very important thing. The eyes, you see there, is on the sides over here, okay? It's not like ours at the front. So she can see everything, what's happened in the front of her, on the sideways as well. It's important things. The pupil is exactly the same in our human ones. So, and can see 280 degrees to 360, and the human only 180, okay? So, the eagle, he can spot a rabbit at 3 miles away. And also, she can see an ant on the top of the building for the 10 floors. He can see an ant walking on the street.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because she's have these options to turn around the eyes, one independent from another.
Oh, so the other one is looking at this side, and the other one's probably looking at another.
Yeah, like that. Look at that, and another one look at like that.
Wow.
This is amazing, that because this the human just can focus the front, and the eagle. The more important thing, she can do exactly the same that we're doing. She can see turn around the back. So make it.
Next slide.
Yeah, just some exercise. Stand still under your body, okay? Don't move your body. Just trying to turn around your head, far as you can.
Yeah.
Far as you can. So my one just going on top of my shoulders, but the owl and eagle, they're going to turn around nearly 180 degrees.
Oh, nearly 3.
Yeah.
Like 280 actually, 280 degrees. So all the way to the back here, they can turn their head.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
amazing.
That's amazing.
Okay, and the mantis shrimp. This is another one. Write it down. Mantis shrimp, actually, as mentioned earlier on, the man's eyes has probably a million cones, but the types, there are only 3 types. But for the mantis shrimp, it's actually 16 types of cones, so that means they can see more than us. And as we said, just like the owl, their eyes move independently of each other. Next. Okay, so here, what can you spot the difference? The left one actually is the man's eye, and the right is actually a goat.
Yeah,
Can you see the difference?
Interesting, when I was a kid, I have a friend, the eyes exactly the same as a goat.
Like the goat.
Yes, exactly the same. It doesn't affect any vision. They have a normal vision there, but instead the pupil is a circle one. You have like the goat ones.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Yeah, it was quite interesting.
That's interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the goats are actually like a slit. Okay, and this is a horse, the same thing like the goat. Next. And this is an elk. And if you can see closely, you can see something else there, just right at the pupil.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can reflection that.
That's a reflection of the one
Like a
taking
mirror.
the photo. Okay, next. Oh, that's Mickey Mouse. It's okay. Next one. Another optical illusion. So what can you see?
I can see the circles moving.
Right. Okay. Do you think that the circles are moving, Pathfinders? Okay.
Can you see the same thing as it? Oh yes, it's moving. Actually, definitely moving. Look at
Okay.
that.
Once again, it's an optical illusion, but the truth is the circles are not moving at all.
Really?
Yeah.
It's moving for me.
Okay, next. Let's watch this video.
Oh yes, this is talking about what's the difference or the similar between the eye, the human eye, and the camera. These looks exactly the same. They both have a lens. They both have a iris or the retina. They call film. It's two different ones. Yes. So as the camera, the light's coming to the corneas and going to straight to the circle is the pupil. So that's all the lights they recepted from that. So the very interesting things, okay, as you see the camera, it has exactly the same with the lens to the top of that. So if you see the camera, just stop on there. Yep. Oh, just come back a second.
It's okay.
Can you go back a bit? Okay, it's fine. So if you can see on the video there, all right.
Left, yeah.
Can you come back on there?
Yeah,
Just
if
want to
you
show
can come
something interesting to you guys. You can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Just moving forward a little bit.
Yeah, move it forward, Jay. Thank you, Jay, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much for your help. Yes, very nice. So, as I was saying, yeah, just moving forward a little bit more.
Yeah, more. Where the camera and the eye is.
Yes, a little bit further.
Okay. Oh, is it there?
Yeah,
Oh.
one more. Oh, yeah, just play it down there. Yeah,
Okay,
just pause there for me,
okay,
if
pause.
you don't mind. Yes.
That's
So you see, on the top there with our eyes, and at the bottom if the camera. So the lights come exactly the same on your lens or corneas, okay? And go into the iris, and after that, they just make a cone and send it to retina or retina.
right.
Okay, going forward, I'm going to explain more that for you. So play again.
Play, Jay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, just step in there. So that's one. This is your iris. So if you can change the form, you know what they're doing is a focus and they make and filter all the image. The one thing I just learned over there for the iris and the lens, we see all the images you see is actually blur, but the iris is a filter and make it zoom in and zoom out for making the image clear and send it to retina. This is quite nice. For you can.
Oh, it's just like the camera, you know, like when you try to focus?
Yeah, exactly.
see.
Exactly
Okay.
the same with that. Just one exercise you can do that. Put your finger, one palm, in the front of your face, okay? Don't focus on the finger. Focus beyond the wall or something extra, okay? You don't see your finger properly because it's the blur. So now focus your finger. Now you can see properly, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's the iris do.
I see.
It's okay?
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
moving around that.
Okay.
And the lenses do exactly the same. You have to focus. But the iris is a stretch or when moving forward. This is because they move the sizes. The lens, no, she does it backwards and forwards to make a focus. This is
Right.
interesting.
That's really good.
And after that, you can see exactly what the device wants to see.
Okay. With the eye, actually, as we said earlier on, we could, when we focus, we have our eyes towards the back of the eye. Actually, it's an inverted one, and when it refracts back, then it actually brings it to the right, so we can actually see the right way up. Does the camera do that too?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're exactly the same there.
Right. Okay.
But the
Cool.
more important, the only interesting thing that eyes can't do and camera do is record and save the image. So you can see
yeah,
in
that's
backwards
right.
and you can see many times you want, but your eyes, you can't, unfortunately.
I think that's probably in the next slide too. So that's very good that you mentioned it. So feature in a camera, the red ones, once again, are the answers to the question. So the aperture is the same as the pupil, which controls the light to get in. The lens, the same thing with the camera, it focuses the light. The shutter is the eyelid, like, you know, it open, close.
Like your blink.
Yeah, correct. And then lets the light into, or blocks the light. And then the film, you have the retina, which receives the light. Okay, next. Oh, I know this is quite a lot. And as I said, parents take a photo. Okay, thank you. All right, so these are the similarities and differences. The similarities, as Jonas has mentioned, they both have a lens. They both have a light-sensitive screen where the image is formed. And the eye and digital camera produce electric signals. The other one, actually, the camera has a film. A film camera does not. Okay, so it's only the digital camera and the eye. And then for the next one, the image made in both the eye and camera are inverted. So as you said, and the difference. The lens is focused by changing shape in the eye. The lens is focused by changing possibly the position in the camera. And the next one, how do the types of image made by each compare? The image made on the retina is virtual and cannot be saved, of course. Like you see something, you can't save it. You can probably save it in your memory, but later on, I mean, you cannot like save it in your eye. Like you cannot go back to it and look at it. The image made in camera is real and can be saved. And then the retina has a light-sensitive cells. The camera has also light-sensitive film.
Just one question that came into us now is Sarah Augustus. Hi, Sarah. You okay? So, what happens when the people are colorblind?
Oh, that's a very good question. We'll
Thank you very
go
much
to
for
it
your
in a
questions.
while. Okay, we will discuss it in a while. Thank you. That's a wonderful question. Next. Okay, as you can see here, this is actually the Snellen chart or eye chart. And I think this question is about what's the difference between 20/20 vision or 20/70 vision. So this is the explanation. If you have a 20/20 vision, you can see 20 feet. Yeah, you can see 20 feet, those letters, whereas compared to an individual who can also see the same letters and read it well 20 feet away from the chart. 20/70 means you can see something 20 feet away, whereas someone with a perfect eyesight can see those same things at 70 feet away. Okay, so yeah, you have a not a good eyesight if you need to go closer at 20 feet, where someone actually can read it 70 feet away. So that's the Snellen chart. Next.
Yep. Don't forget, all the honors we're doing is being recorded. You can find on the SEC website. Okay.
Thank you. Now, what is a visual impairment? As it says, it's used to describe any kind of vision loss. Okay. Next. What was I gonna mention about vision loss? I can't remember. Anyway, it will come back to me in a while. Okay, next is, this is an optical illusion.
Yes.
Okay, so the horizontal lines, are they the same, straight, or are they sloping?
It looks like sloping.
Yeah, actually. It looks like it's sloping.
I need the glasses.
Okay, it's an optical illusion. So basically this one, no, they're all straight lines. Okay, they're not sloping, they're straight. Next.
Oh, quite
yes.
nice.
Okay, right. Okay, now we're going to the eye problems, okay?
Ooh.
Glaucoma. It's an increase in pressure inside the eyeball. As I said, remember there's actually sort of like a jelly-like substance inside your eyeball. Okay, that when it grows, when it has too much, okay, when it has too much fluid inside, it actually impinges, or actually, you know, like, what's impinge? Presses onto the backside of the eye, and it actually mostly damages the retina. So this is one cause of blindness. Okay? Next. Oh, by the way, glaucoma, how do you treat it? It's usually eye drops and surgery. Okay? Cataracts. These are cloudy areas in the part of the entire lens of the eye. So it's just like basically having a plastic like this in front of your eye, and you cannot see very well. Okay, so cataracts can be treated by surgery, okay, so that you can see again, okay. Next, strabismus is cross-eyed. How do we, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to see your finger closer to you, so it's gonna be like that.
Yeah. So
your eyes are gonna be straight on there.
And then your eyes are, your pupils are, and your, you know, it's actually gonna go to the center. That one you have double vision, okay? Strabismus actually is usually treated with surgery, corrective surgeries. Yeah. Next, you have the wall-eyed, where the pupils are actually pupils, and the iris is actually on the side. Okay, that's quite difficult. Same thing, you know, they have corrective surgeries. Okay, important thing about these things for us to remember, we won't, if you see someone with this, don't stare at them, and also don't bully them, okay? Like, you know, don't tease them or something. So remember the 6th commandment, don't hurt people, okay?
If you are perfect, helping who is not perfect.
Right.
Helping.
That's a good one. Okay, next. Okay, just funny terms or really like highly intellectual terms. Esotropia, okay, when one of the part of the eye is actually in the middle, so you can't see very well. Hypertropia, it's like a hanging, your pupil is actually hanging, okay, your eye is hanging there. Exotropia, as we said, the wall-eyed, it's the one of the eyes actually, or two of the eyes are on the side. And hypotropia, it's like sunset, as you can see. Okay, next. Okay, another optical illusion. Right, tell me, Jonas, which one is longer? Or are they the same?
My right side looks longer.
Yeah, the one on the right looks longer. What do you think, Pathfinders? Okay.
Yeah, I'm right, yeah.
Okay, the answer is, are they the same or not? The answer is, yes, they are the same size or the same length. Okay, next. Just another optical illusion. Okay. Okay, now conjunctivitis. Another problem in the eye, or what we call sore eyes. This is the inflammation of the thin layer tissue that covers the front of the eye. You can see that the guy's eye is actually quite red. The most important thing here is don't rub your eyes, because it can infect other people. When you do, make sure you wash your hands, okay? But the treatment for this is usually eye drops or flushes, you know, flushing a special kind of water for the eye, or ointments, okay, for if it's bacterial. Next.
Yeah, I know, guys, sometimes we're struggling to catch up. Don't worry, when you can check it again later on the SEC website, okay, or on your Facebook, on YouTube, you'll get a streaming from there as well.
Yeah, or replay this video. Thank you. Okay, now color blindness. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Was it Sarah?
Yes, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So here it is.
That's
color
your
blindness
answer.
or color vision deficiency, trouble distinguishing certain colors. It usually is inherited or acquired. If you know, if you've had a disease or something, sometimes you can actually have it. It usually affects men, but it can be corrected by actually having special glasses. Nowadays, especially with, you know, our recent findings that they've had, you know, corrective glasses is great. And you can finally see those people who've had color blindness now are able to see in colors.
Wow. That's nice.
Yeah. So some people actually, if they can just see blue, everything is blue. Imagine.
Whoa.
You cannot see the beauty that God has actually created.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm glad that we have now, you know, our medical science has actually done greatly when it comes to this. So next one, important. Once again, with these diseases or these problems of the eye, important once again, remember commandment number 6, don't hurt people, don't bully them, don't call them names, don't stare at them, Just be kind and loving, okay? And share the love of God. I'm sure one day when Christ comes, every disease or every problem is going to vanish. Okay, another video. We're almost done, by the way. We're almost done.
It's quite good so far. Yeah, well done. Yeah, the people are asking you.
The Roman philosopher Seneca peered at his book through a glass of water. Suddenly, the text below was transformed. The words magically became clear. But it wasn't until a millennium main refractive surfaces, the cornea and the lens. Ideally, these surfaces work together to refract light in a way that accurately focuses light onto the retina, the layer of light-sensitive tissue at the back of the eye that works with the brain to give rise to vision. But many people develop refractive errors, either during childhood as their eyes are growing, or in later life as their eyes age. Imperfections in the cornea and lens cause refracted light to be focused in front of or behind the retina, making images appear blurry. People with refractive errors can still see color, movement, and light, but the details of what they're looking at are out of focus. People experience refractive errors in different ways, owing to differences in their eyes. In some, light refracts too much, and in others, too little. Eyes with a focal point in front of the retina are called myopic, or short-sighted. They can see close objects clearly, but those far away are out of focus. But when the focus point is behind the retina, people are hyperopic, or long-sighted. For them, objects close up are unfocused, but distant objects are crystal clear. Finally, some people have a cornea with a non-spherical shape that causes astigmatism, a form of out-of-focus vision that makes all objects seem blurred, whether close or far. As we age, our eyes face new challenges. When we're young, the lens of the eye is flexible and can change shape to bring images into focus, something called accommodation. This keeps objects in focus when we shift our gaze from far to near. But as we get older, the lens becomes less flexible and can't change shape when we want to look at near objects. This is called presbyopia, and it affects adults starting around the age of 40 years. Myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, and presbyopia. Each of these is a refractive error. Nowadays, we can fix them all with glasses or contact lenses, which work by refocusing light so it strikes the retina precisely. It's even possible to correct vision with surgery, using lasers that change the shape of the cornea and alter its refractive properties. But glasses remain the most popular. By using carefully crafted lenses to steer light to exactly the right spot on the retina, a person's clear vision can be restored. We've come a long way since Seneca's discovery and the crude glasses of yesteryear.
As you can see, that was a very good video, actually, how
British
glasses
optician
help
named Edward
us.
Scarlett
So thank God for great minds, huh? Okay, next, we'll move on.
Yeah. Just remember, if you are lost or you are missing some parts, go to SEC website or YouTube or Facebook. You can replay how many times you want it, okay?
Thank you. Okay, as we said earlier on, the red ones are the answer to the question. So refraction is, as we mentioned, bending of the light when it passes through a transparent medium such as glass, lens, or water. The refractive errors are, number four ones, myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, and presbyopia. Next. Okay. Myopia is also known as nearsightedness, as in the video. Next. Next one is hyperopia, astigmatism, as explained earlier on. Presbyopia, I'm just going to mention to you because, for old people like us, when we see the Bible, and normally for you guys, you don't have a problem, you read it like this. But for us, we go like this. Oh, we can't see very well. Okay, so that's, when people get old, presbyopia.
Yeah, they need long arms, yeah?
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, next. Right. That's just basically showing you the differences between when the light comes in, the focal point, where it is, whether it's front or the middle or the back, or or it's too short, as explained earlier. Okay, so go back to the video if you didn't understand it very well. Next, let's read Genesis 48 verse 10. Can you read that?
No. No.
No. It's the next one. Okay,
Yeah,
and
let's
here
go back
it
to
is.
English. Now I can remember.
Now Israel's eyes were failing because of old age, and he could hardly see. So what kind of problem is this? Yeah, what kind does Jacob have? Correct, presbyopia. Okay, failing eyes because of old age. Failing eyesight, I should say. Right, the question to number 12. Where's our number 12? How should, oh no, that's not that. Number 12, I had it earlier on. But that's the answer to the question, by the way. It is true. But the question, did we have it? Anyway, that's the answer to the question. You'll find it there. Just go through your answer sheet. And the next one. All right, now we're going to do eye care. If you, let's say, for example, have dust in your eye or a speck in your eye and you can't really remove it, or probably an insect came inside your eye and you don't rub it, because sometimes when you rub, the insects will emit some secretion and it could hurt your eye more. So this is what you need to do. And I will need Jay, my son, to come forward. So just make sure your hands are clean. Make sure your hands are clean, and make sure the water is clean too in the bowl. So basically, you're going to immerse your face, and when you're there, and this is, you open your eyes, close it, open it until the speck or the insect has actually gone. Okay?
If you have any questions, you need to do now, because we're going to finish it soon. Okay?
Quick. Yeah. So, did you open your eyes inside?
Yeah,
okay.
he did it.
All right. Very good. Well, if you need to do that, it's easy. Just make sure you wash your hands. Okay. Next. Straining our eyes. How do we strain our eyes? Pathfinders? Yes, you're right. By exposing yourselves to a lot of internet, or probably your dad probably is driving for too long. How much is too much? Okay, they say that probably 3.5 hours of reading or internet or driving is too much. So rest. Okay, next. Resting our eyes. So how do we rest our eyes? Okay, this is one. Resting our eyes probably is just take off, leave your book for the moment, or close it, turn off the internet for a while. And this is how you can do it. Actually, you can just slightly put your palms in a circular motion on your eyes like this, or rub your hands together. Make sure that it gets warm, and you can put it on your closed eyes and just make it warm a bit like that. Or the next one, this is what we have, 20-20 rule. Okay, and what is the 20-20 rule? When you've read 20 minutes or you've exposed yourself 20 minutes, remove your eyes from whatever you're doing, turn it far away, turn your eyes or cast your eyes far away, about 20 feet away, and for 20 seconds look at nature, and then you can go back to it. 20-20 rule, 20-20-20. Okay?
Sleeping is not the way you rest your eyes, okay? One of them, but it's not this is talking about, right?
Cool. Okay, next. What if you can't see well? Let your parents know or guardians know so that they can take you to the GP or be referred to the eye doctor. Next, number 13. The eyes are the window to the soul. What does this mean? The first meaning is when you see at someone's eyes, you can tell how they feel, whether they're lonely or happy.
Or sadness.
Yes. Number 2, the second explanation is wherever you expose your eyes to is probably what you're going to have inside your heart. Okay, so if you're exposed too much, if you expose yourself too much on, let's say, violence, oh, that's really sad, because you're actually going to have violence in your heart. It's not going to be good. Okay, yeah. So the eyes are the windows to the soul. So the next one, not that one. Where's the other one? Okay, the way, anyway, to expose your eyes to is make sure that you always look at good things, things that will that is honorable, things that is right and just and pure. Okay, 14, number 14, porn or violence. What does it do? Okay,
not good things.
Not a good thing. Basically, there's many bad things that it can do to your life. I won't even look at it. Don't try it. Porn is actually sex videos or photos, and violence, as you know, is actually, you know, the ones that have guns on it, like movies and stuff. These are desensitizing to the viewer, or basically it numbs your feelings, okay? Also, not only numbs your feelings, you become violent as well, or you become addicted to sex. Not good. Okay, so as I said, you know, expose yourself to what is honorable and lovely and good report. Dwell on these things, according to Philippians 4 verse 8.
Yeah, have the word saying your heart is full what your eyes see.
Correct.
So be careful what you see.
That's right. Oh, I love that song. Be careful what you see. Yeah. Be careful, little eyes, what you see.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Now, this is another optical illusion. Can you tell how many legs does this elephant have?
Oh, too many. 7.
It
6.
looks like 7.
7.
Okay, the answer to this optical illusion, 4 legs. Okay, next. Right, effects of video games. There is good and bad. Okay, so teamwork, better decision-making skills, good coordinations of hands and eyes, remember? Okay, but the bad effects is, you know, you're staying up too late, you've got eye problems, you prefer games over school, or hopefully not, or you're exposed to wrong values. Thank you. Next. Effects of social media. I think you know this. We'll go over it. Business, education, socializing skills, and the bad effects, you know, addiction, hacking, and cyberbullying.
Just one question. The Kezia Ducasi, she asking you there, is the best way to sleep wear that mask or not? I don't like it, be honest with you, but she said, is it the best way to do it or not?
If you're sleeping in the night, make sure everything is dark, because that's the right way to rest your eyes and rest your whole body. You know, mimic darkness, because that's when you actually sleep better. If you're going to sleep, for those of you who work in the night and are awake during the day or need to sleep in the day, it's best to wear something to cover your eyes so that it mimics the night, the night environment or the darkened environment. But make sure that your eye masks are not too tight. Okay, next. Explain 1 Samuel 16 verse 7, and this is the very short explanation. Never judge by appearance. As you can see, small plant, big carrot down there, big plant, but very little carrot.
Yeah, they should be careful.
I love that photo.
Yeah, I quite like it.
Okay, next one, because we lack time. Okay, explain fixing our eyes on Jesus.
Oh, yeah, you can see that's an image of that. The Peter, when he was in the boat and he's asking to Jesus, can I come into you? And he said, yes. When he's fitting his eyes in Jesus, he was okay. He was walking on the water. But when he said, oh, what am I doing? Oh, he started sinking. So that's the best way to that. If you want to do the right things, okay, you need to follow and see Jesus, okay? Only Jesus on that.
Right. So focusing on Jesus means follow what Jesus did, okay? So let's read our Bibles, pray, and listen to the prayer warriors and our parents and our members from the church.
Exactly.
Follow Jesus. Okay, making life easy for the visually impaired. Making life easy, there's Braille, there's letterings that are actually larger, and they have special equipment that's actually made for them, and also voice recognition software. So these are how to actually make their lives easy. But also another thing, same thing from us, let's be kind to them, let's talk to them, let's not leave them in one corner, let's make friends with the visually impaired.
Exactly.
Next. Okay, the optical illusions we've done earlier on, but as I said, the red ones are the answers to the questions. So we're just going to read this. The first Answer is optical illusion, light, images, brains, eyes, interpret, and real. So take a photo of this, parents.
Or you can go back afterwards on YouTube and on Facebook. You can get everything from there, and SEC websites as well.
I agree. Next. I think this is probably our last video. We have 3 minutes or 4.
Yep.
This is great. Okay.
Is the last one, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is the last one, Pastor.
We're going to make an origami.
Ooh. She's good on that. I don't.
I know it's too fast, but it's okay. You can come back to it. And then you need to draw inside.
Victor, my son, is good on that. I'm not.
Hey! That's good. Yeah. We're almost done. Well done, you guys. Keep drawing. Just gonna draw the eye in the center. And as I said, as we said, and as we keep reiterating, you can go back through this, these videos and then make your origami. You can forward it a little bit, Jay, because it's just coloring. Yeah, move some more. Well done, you guys. You're doing great. Go back to the video if you're lost. Yep. Well, that's great. Well done. Thank you so much. And our last slide is, let us read this together. Psalm 139:14. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. God has made us really wonderfully, and we're all made uniquely. So let's praise God for how He made our sight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you
Bye.
soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, we are from Shiny Stars Adventurers Club, and we are here to present to you what we've been doing during this quarantine. We have been having classes over Zoom, and always with Oliver and Nelly. They are our mascots, and we always have worship before our activities, and they brought to us this year stories that happened in their school, in their house, in their lives, so we can bring that to the Bible and how we should react to our daily life stories and what happens to us, and how we should really bond with Jesus in everything that we do. So we are going to show you some pictures of our activities done at home, and we also had a Friday night worship that we did at Zoom, and we also had we celebrated the Adventure World Day, so we did that also, and we had a last party at Zoom, so we can show you some pictures, and we hope you will enjoy as much as we did by being part of it.
Gente, cadê vocês? Cadê vocês? A gente tá esperando vocês aqui no acampamento. Venham logo. Eu não tô preparado. Numa campa. Dormir da mochila, lanterna. Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Who brings our chaos back into order? Who makes the orphan a son and daughter? The King of glory, the King above all kings. Who rules the nations with truth and justice? Shines like the sun in all of its brilliance. The King of glory, the King above all kings. Oh, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. Oh, you would lay down your life. That I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy, worthy, worthy. Oh, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. Oh, you would lay down your life. That I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me.
Oh. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you have had a really, really good afternoon and have had a good lunch and ready to go for our next worksheet or our next honor, which is the taste honor. This is a very brand new honor that we are doing for this E-Camporee. So I hope that as we are going to go through it, you are going to get so much stuff from it, and you will be really, really, really experts in terms of explaining what happens when we eat our food. So I hope that you've got the worksheet and your parents have managed to download it for you to go through it as we are working through the worksheet. Okay, so we are going to start from the top. What is the gustatory system? That is our first question that we are going to go through. So again, I want us as Pathfinders, as we are going through this honor, that at the end of it, we should be able to have an understanding of the science, the biology that happens when we eat our food. Isn't that exciting? Okay. So for those of you that have their technologies with you, different gadgets that you've got, your laptops, your phones, have a look at what the gustatory system is. Give you a few seconds to get yourself sorted. Right, so the definition I have, obviously the definition that you guys might have will slightly differ to what I've got, but I'll share with what I have. And the idea of our honor here is that we'll give you the basics and you guys will build on that as you go along, okay? So the gustatory system, or sense of taste, is the sensory system that allows us to perceive different flavors from substances like food, drink, medicines. There are molecules in our mouths that we taste, or they are called testins. These are sensed in the cells in our mouth. That then is sent, that information is sent to our brains, and these specialized cells, we call them test cells. Okay? I know that's a bit of a mouthful, but obviously with the adults that are next to you, you can simplify it into a way that will be understandable to you. So in a nutshell, it is the taste system that allows us to perceive or the taste of the substances that we put in our mouths, like food, like drink, like medicine. This will all make sense to you as we go along in the honor. Okay? So I'll give you a few seconds for you guys to write your answers on your worksheets. So what we're trying to build up here is what actually happens to the food that we eat from the time we actually think about our food, to the time we see our food, to the time we actually taste our food. Okay? That leads us straight into the second part of our question in the worksheet that says, define the word taste. That's interesting. Taste. How can we define taste? Right. So for those of you who can send in their responses online, just send in what you think the word taste mean. And we will be looking at some of them, and I will be reading out some of your responses as we go along. Right. So taste is the perception produced or simulated when a substance in the mouth reacted chemically with taste receptor cells on taste buds in the oral cavity, mostly on the tongue. So there are receptors that are literally thousands of them on your tongue that will react in different ways when a substance actually touches your tongue. Yeah? You might want to have a simplified version that might say something along the lines of taste is to distinguish the flavor by taking that into the mouth, right? So you're distinguishing the different flavors when you actually put the food in your mouth. So Claudia says here, taste is when you try a food. Right, that's interesting. So taste is when you try a food. I like that thought there, Claudia. Someone else here says, Pamela and... Oh, a person's liking of a particular flavor. Excellent. I like it, Pathfinders, that you are starting to think about these different things. Gifty says a sensation of flavors. I like that. Sensation of flavors. Joy says when you eat something and gives off a flavor. Wow. Loads of interesting responses there. Okay, so we'll build up on that as we go along. So now, on your worksheet, you are on question 3. Okay? So question 3 says on our worksheet, what are taste buds? What are taste buds? Right? Again, you can interact with us through the text on there. Joy says, when you eat something and it gives off a flavor, right? We read that. I'll give you a few seconds to think about that one. What are taste buds? Right, again, I did mention when we started that we are giving you just the basics of the mechanism, if you like, of what happens within your mouth when you eat or drink. So my challenge to you as Pathfinders is to build up on the information that I'm giving up you this afternoon. Okay? So taste buds are the sensory organs that are found on your tongue. Taste buds are the sensory organs that are found on your tongue, right? So if you're writing on your worksheets, that could be another simplified definition that you can write. So taste buds are sensory organs that are found on your tongue. Jedediah says, perceptions and brain interactions also influence our taste. Wow, that's interesting. Pamela says, taste buds are sensory organs that are found on your tongue and allow you to experience tastes that are sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. Wow, Pamela, you have gone way, 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 way ahead of our worksheet. But I like your enthusiasm and your responses there. Okay. So we are now on to question 4 on our worksheet. Question 4 on our worksheet that says, name the 5 taste sensations. So someone has already hinted on the different sensations. We know the 5 senses that we have got, but this is the taste sensations that we want to list. So on your worksheet,
We have an interesting question here from the
Pimco. What happens when you perceive a certain flavor? Or what helps you to perceive flavors?
wow.
That's a good question.
That is a very, very good question. What I can say at the moment, because we will get a bigger picture from the questions that we are going to answer. So I will take your question, I'll pack it up for now. If we go through question 4, and then I'll come back to your question. Is that okay? Because when we answer the question 4, it will become a bit clearer and make it easier for us to understand. Okay, so the 5 test sensation. So on your worksheet, you've got A, B, C, D, and E, right? Okay, so sensation number 1 is salty. Salty. Right? So if you're completing on your worksheet, we have the salty sensation. Another sensation is the bitter sensation. Bitter sensation. And you know, when you read the Bible and it tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, as you put something salty on your tongue or in your mouth, your tongue does really amazing things and sends that information to your brain so fast that if you don't like that sensation, you quickly recoil and you spit whatever that you would have put in your mouth. That is interesting, and how our bodies work. Okay? So we've got salty, we've got bitter, sweet is the next sensation. So our taste receptors in our mouths also helps us to perceive that sensation of sweetness.
Bruce, can I just let you know that
Carolyn and Zerotu have answered that question absolutely perfectly using those key words that you just used. Salty, sweet, bitter.
Bitter. Brilliant. Well done to you guys. Right. And the next one is the sour taste. Sour taste.
And to top it all off,
They have said that as well. Salty, sweet, sour, and bitter. We have some really smart Pathfinders out there.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Well done, guys, for answering those questions. And on to the last big one. This one is called umami, right? That is the savory taste.
And there it is. They've answered that question as well.
Brilliant.
101% correct. Well done to Carolyn and Zerotu.
Carolyn and Zerutu, well done. Right. And I'm just going to welcome my co-presenter, Adam. Welcome.
Thank you, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
You okay?
I'm doing all right.
How's it going?
We're doing all right.
All right,
Our
cool.
Pathfinders are really, really engaging, and we're doing well.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Excellent.
I'm so glad to be here. As Bruce said, I am Adam. Hi, everybody. I hope that you're having a wonderful Camporee as we fellowship with one another. Electronically, visually, on our screens as we go through this, our taste honor. So, how many questions we done so far?
There's a question from Claudia.
Brilliant.
And she says, what happens if you eat something that's burnt?
That's burnt. Well, as a matter of fact, let's delve into that a little bit. Because on the tongue, they have sensory buds called the taste buds.
We have answered that
The
question.
burning taste or the burnt taste of food would actually go to the taste bud. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's put it to the viewers.
Yeah.
Why don't you guess in the comments which taste bud you think will be activated if you taste something that's burnt, right, Roz? Burnt, right.
Yes.
So put it in the comments and let me see if you would be right.
Right.
Okay.
So we were on our 5th sensation, which was umami. So
Unami.
yeah. Challenge to you guys. Can you tell us what language it is and what does that mean?
So put that one in the comments as well. The challenge is, like Bruce said, put it in the comments. What language is umami and what does it mean? Okay. So are we going to press on with
press
number
on.
5 in our worksheets?
Yep.
All right, number 5 in our worksheets. You'll see that there's a diagram there. There's a diagram there. And what does that diagram represent, Bruce?
I think that looks like a foot.
It looks like a foot.
Yeah.
Oh, my foot doesn't look like that. Is it an eye? No.
No.
We're talking about taste. So it could only be
the tongue.
The tongue.
Yeah.
Yes. And on that diagram, it's going to ask you in your worksheet to describe or identify, rather, the gustatory system. Sounds like a big word.
Very big word.
Gustatory system. Okay? So on that diagram, you're going to have to describe the gustatory system. Should we go through some of those parts?
Yes, let's go through them.
Let's go through some of those parts. Now, there's some very big words on those on my diagram. Very, very big words. And let me just indicate that the majority of these words, the description is Greek, or Latin. So,
Can I just butt
In here
Yes.
and let you know that Samuel is saying that, what's that word again? Mami is Japanese.
Samuel is correct.
And Gavin is also saying it's Japanese,
Japanese, and so is Claudia.
Wonderful,
And
wonderful.
Tadala is saying it's bitter. And Gavin is saying it's a combination of flavors. And Claudia is saying it's a savory taste.
Okay.
Well
So,
done. All
which
good
one
answers.
said it was the combination?
Combination of flavors is Gavin.
Gavin, pat yourself on the back, buddy. That's actually correct. So you'll notice as Bruce went through all of the different flavors, salty, sour, bitter, sweet, what umami does on your tongue is almost like a confusion. So it gives you all of those sensations all at once. So that's what umami really means. Well done.
Claudia has asked this question twice now, so we're going to have to answer it for
Right.
her. And her question is the term, say it again?
Umami.
Umami.
Is it a universally accepted terminology, or is it best to just use the word savory?
Well, it's the familiar term is actually savory. And what savory, some savory tastes can give a sweet sensation. Some savory tastes can give have a more tangy taste. But it depends. So you're correct, Claudia. Is it Claudia?
That's
Claudia,
right.
you're correct by saying that you can refer to it as savory. But the reason why it's not sweet is because savory really means that it involves the combining of multiple taste effects. All right? Okay.
I hope that answers
This is your question for you, Claudia.
I hope so indeed. I hope so indeed.
And would mint fall into that category?
They could.
Yeah.
Because when I was young, my granny used to have mints, and there were some mints I didn't like. Those were the ones that were strong, almost bitter, but heavy. And then there were some that were sweet. I don't know if that's more like a sweet than a mint. I'm not sure. But they could fall into that category.
Yeah.
I think I'll just leave it up for debate.
Them
Yes? Okay, so where were we? We were on the tongue. The tongue, and describing the system. And what was that system called again? The gustatory system. Right, so you will notice on the left-hand side, there's only one allocation for identification. I believe you have two, but there should be one. Okay, so if I can hold up my diagram, is that possible? Is that possible to hold up my diagram? Is it possible? Good. So let me just hold up my diagram. If you can see the tongue, on this side, you will have two allocations. So on your worksheet, it will look, your worksheet looks like this. Okay? So you'll see two over here. Really and truly, that should be one. Just this one at the bottom. Okay? And that is called the follitate papillae.
Wow.
I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, because I practice my pronunciations.
I did as well.
Yeah? Follitate papillae. Okay? That's what that's called on the left-hand side of your tongue. Okay? Now the first one on the right, at the very top, let me show again, at the very top, this one. Okay? That's called the lingual tonsil. The lingual tonsil. All right? The one under that, first one, is called the sulcus terminalis.
Wow. That's another big word.
Sulcus terminalis. The next one under that is called the valate papillae. Valate papillae. And then the second last one is called the fungiform papillae. Okay? And the very last one at the bottom is the filiform papillae. Okay? I'm sure you'll be able to go back, reel back in your videos so that you can get those names all over again. All right? That's in the diagram. Yes,
We have a
Auntie Rose.
question
From Matilda, who's asking, is spice part of the 5 taste sensations?
Spice, as in spicy. So I presume she's asking if a spicy taste would be part of the 5. It falls into one of the categories. And what I'll do is I'll put it back out to them and see if they can guess which one it would fall into. Spice or spicy taste. Which one that would fall into. So let me just put that back out there until I answer. Yes, please.
And Adam, can you tell me, all these big, long, laborious words that you're using, can you please spell them for our Pathfinders?
Oh my word. All of them. All of them.
Well, you said at least 2 or 3 big, long,
Laborious words there. And if they want to get those answers right, they want to get the correction spelt correctly.
So,
Absolutely.
The spelling spelt correctly, should I say.
is there a way? I wonder if there is a way that we can get. We can possibly post the. As a matter of fact, no, no. This is what I want them to do. This is what I want them to do.
Right.
We know that you're very good with technology. That's why we're here, E-Camporee. So, go to your Google and type this in. Gustatory system. Gustatory system. And that's spelled Gustatory. Gustatory system. And it's going to give you a diagram of what that looks like. It's all on your tongue. Okay? I hope that one would, because I think that one would take quite long for us to spell out. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different parts of the system.
Yeah.
Yes? All of them being long. All right? So we push on to number 6. Are there any other questions there?
There is
Rose?
One question, but I think I may have to ask that person to clarify the question. The question is, can you lose your taste by being burnt?
By being burnt.
Yeah,
You want to take that, Bruce?
Right. When you are bent, some of the test receptors in your mouth gets destroyed, if you like, in the simplest sense. But what happens is they rebuild themselves over time. Think if you have a very hot chocolate drink and you burn yourself.
Or tea.
Right? Or tea, right? Or whatever hot drink that you might have. If that burns you, that will stay on for a couple of days, but then you'll find that within a few days, you are back to your normal self again. So those cells do rebuild themselves.
That's correct. So remember, just like Bruce said, what happens when your tongue is burnt is that it destroys the cells on top, which are the receptors, which is what tells your brain how something tastes, which is what puts each food into whichever category. If you burn that, you lose your taste. Okay? And then it takes days, it may take days, up to a week for you to get your taste back. All right?
Right.
Anything else, Rose, before we push on?
Not right now. They're just asking for spellings, but
Okay.
All right. I think what we can do is we can go through some of them.
All right.
And
right, there is a question coming
through now with regards to the dreaded COVID-19. Can COVID-19, having that virus, help you to lose your taste or cause you to lose your taste?
That is a very, very interesting question.
Yes.
And that is very, very relevant to what we are doing.
Correct.
But we will answer that question as we go through our worksheet, because
That's correct.
we have a section within the worksheet that we will discuss about some of the conditions that can cause us to lose our taste.
That's right.
All right?
That's
so
right.
that's a very good question, but we will answer it as we get to that section of the worksheet.
All right?
Excellent.
Okay. Now, number six. You want to read that question for me, please, Bruce?
Right. How is taste related to other senses? Wow.
Right. There is, of course, a whole realm of sensation available to us beyond these 5 areas. This realm is something we call flavor. Yeah? Flavor. I'm sure you are familiar with that word. And much of it comes from our sense of smell. So imagine your taste is dependent on the other sense called smell. All right. So if you ask anyone who has a stuffy nose, anyone at all who has a stuffy nose, if you have a cold, stuffy nose, COVID. If you have a stuffy nose, how it affected their taste, they'll be able to tell you, because sometimes all the food tastes bland when you have a little sniffle. Wonder why that is. The senses of smell and taste are very related because they use the same type of receptors, which means the same cells that collect the information from your food and go to the brain. Okay, so the sense of smell and taste are related.
So if I can just say to Khalid,
Please, this is answering your question. Isn't spice a sensation, not a taste? This is linked to your
Right.
question, Kalisa.
That's correct.
I hope that answers it for you.
I hope so indeed. So, though they are related, and because they're related, if your smell isn't fully functional, you can be guaranteed that your taste will also be not fully functional, or it will be affected. Okay? The sense of touch as well
That's a big one.
is also very key in the sense of in the sense of taste, because things have to touch your tongue for you to be able to taste it. Okay? And experiencing taste is a result of that touch of the tongue. We could even use an example of that, or you can use an example of that. With the same product, but that has different output. So take peanut butter, for argument's sake. Peanut butter either comes in creamy or crunchy. Yes? Creamy or crunchy. Now your tongue or your smell wouldn't be able to tell if it's creamy or crunchy. But when you eat it, when you taste it, using your teeth as well, obviously, because you got to bite the nuts. But you'll be able to tell when it hits your tongue that it's not fully creamy, that it's not that this one is crunchy and that one is creamy. That's an example for you. Any questions in there, Roz? For us? Pressing on. Number 7. You want to add something there, Brucey?
Right. Just to add a bit on the other senses. Obviously, as I said earlier on when we started our honor, that we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Amen.
As we go through this, just imagine how many sensations that your tongue and your brain is processing
at the same time.
At the same time. Oh. That is amazing, isn't it?
Serve a wonderful God.
Exactly.
We serve a wonderful God.
And all these senses all work together for that experience that you have when you have a pizza, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Or a banana to counteract.
Oh, yeah. I'll have pizza.
Yeah.
You can have the banana. Number 7. Is our taste preference pizza? Yeah. You're having banana.
I'm having the banana.
Genetically decided, or is it trained? And we have to explain.
Wow. That is interesting because there are some people that have a sweet tooth that prefer sweet foods.
Can I say me? I have a sweet tooth. I like sweet foods. Chocolate, sweets, candy bars, the works.
Yeah.
Jelly beans, everything, sweet. Do you have a sweet tooth?
Sometimes.
Is it because your dad had a sweet tooth? Or your mum had a sweet tooth?
I think it's linked.
It's linked?
Yeah, because as young as I can remember, we used to have loads of sweet stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'm from the Caribbean. We cook everything with sugar.
Right.
So I think it's more practice. But research has long investigated or tried to find out the origin of taste preferences. It's another debate of nurture versus nature. Is it something that we teach each other or is it something that we're born with? A recent study, and it was published in the Journal for Obesity. That's a big word for fat. Yes, that's something we don't want to be. It's also unhealthy. Yes, that's something we don't want to be. Okay? It indicated that genes are significant in a child who has tendency to avoid new foods, and that's because of the practice of the parents. So children, when you learn in Pathfinder Club the healthy foods to eat, to taste, and you might not be getting that at home, mention it to mommy or daddy. Daddy Bruce, can I have the banana instead of the pizza, please? Because the banana is good for me. Yes? So it has a lot to do with or more to do rather, with our training than necessarily our genes. Okay?
I have a question from Carolyn.
Yes.
Hi, Carolyn.
Carolyn is saying, if you block your nose, can you imagine a taste? Wow.
Carolyn, we like your question.
Wow.
We really, really like your question. That we are going to demonstrate at the end of our honor.
I don't want to give it away.
we do have a section that we will deal with that.
Indeed.
As well.
And then
Indeed.
we have a question from Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
Is it always possible to be able to taste food with your nose as in it smells as it tastes?
Like we said earlier, the senses are related, or they help you to actually identify that food, and it is part of the experience of tasting that food.
I'll go to something that's even a little bit more dangerous. Do not try this. Do not try this. But if you are driving or walking along the road or cycling or whatever, and a truck goes past and the diesel fumes are spewing out of the exhaust, and your mouth is closed, and somehow you breathe it in, you can sometimes taste the carbon off of the vehicle. That's because, as Bruce said, as we said earlier, the receptors are connected. Yeah? So your sense of taste and smell are heavily linked. Okay?
Excellent.
All right.
So in terms of answering that question, we have said quite a lot in that section. So where it says explain, so we hope that out of everything that we have said, you will have your own explanation or your own simplified version of answering that question, whether it's genetically decided or trained. Yep.
Or trained. Wonderful. You want to read, press on to number 8?
Let's press on.
Bruce?
Right. So, what are the treatment options for someone who has lost their sense of taste?
Aha!
We did touch that. We did say, was it Caroline?
That we was going to come back to it. Someone had a question with regard to COVID-19 and coronavirus.
Yeah.
In it? Yeah. Okay. So, let me first give you a quick synopsis of what causes impaired taste. All that means is your taste to be affected. Okay? A wide variety of causes exist. Wide variety of causes exist for impaired taste. Many of them involve your respiratory system. That's the system that assists or causes you to breathe. Okay? And as you would have heard before, that's related to our sense of smell. Even if you do not have a diagnosed smell disorder, that means if you haven't gone to the doctor and the doctor hasn't told you, well, you have a problem with your smell, even if you don't have that, then there can still be a temporary interruption or breakdown of your smell when you experience, as we said, a cold or a flu.
Yep.
In the case of the world today,
Coronavirus.
COVID-19. All right? Now, during that illness, it can also impair your sense of taste. As you know, or as has been reported the world over, COVID causes you to lose your taste. It's one of the symptoms. And that's because the virus attacks your taste, your gustatory system, and as a result, your sense of smell and taste are severely affected. Okay? Affected. Other things like the common cold, the flu, you know what I mean? You don't want to mention influenza, that's the really big one. You know, if you have bad sinuses like me, I have terrible sinuses, so when hopefully, God willing, and we get to camp on the outside again, and I'm in my tent between Bruce and Roz, and they hear me in the morning snorting, they know that my sinuses are acting up. Okay? Right.
Excellent.
We have an interesting question.
From Judea.
Yes.
Hi, Judea.
Hello.
My cousin's teeth cut through the center of his tongue.
Ooh.
Will this affect his umani receptors?
What an intelligent question.
That's a very
good one. I think it will affect all of his receptors, the sweet, the salty, the bitter, the sour, everything.
That sounds painful as well.
And it's, oh my word, I wish your cousin better. I hope he gets better soon. He or she gets better very, very soon. But yes, if you cut your tongue, and it's actually quite easy to cut your tongue. You don't have to bite through it with your teeth because there are things you can taste that might address the sour receptors that can damage your receptors, similarly to how when you ask Auntie Rose about the burning, when your tongue is burnt. So it's very easy to damage the tongue and damage the receptors, but when that happens, it does affect all of the taste buds, including, yes, the umami. Right. So we were still on 7. So we have to talk about the treatment.
Yes.
The treatment. So what treatment options you have for someone that has impaired taste? So what you do is, for your doctor may prescribe, find a doctor, yeah? Find a doctor. They may prescribe medications to minimize or make smaller the effects of the nervous system, which is connected to your taste system, so that any disease you may have or that might be affecting you, like COVID, like the flu, like a throat infection, like your sinuses, it would combat those symptoms. Okay? Now, there's also evidence, however, that you can have deficiencies in, like, for instance, zinc or iron, and that can impair or that can affect your taste. Okay, so when you're listing what you need to, what can affect your taste, a loss in zinc, a loss in iron, if you have a cold or flu, COVID-19, I hope not, or a throat infection or bad sinuses, as I said, then you should get medication, try to get medication to combat whatever may be attacking your immune system.
We
Okay?
have an interesting question.
Yes.
Go on.
From Khalees.
Hi, Khalees.
Hello, Khalees.
And she asked, I heard.
Heard that despite never licking or tasting something, your brain can imagine the texture of things on your tongue like dirt or bricks. Is this true?
Well, I am not sure, but it is interesting to research. When I teach, I always tell persons there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. So, based on what I know, I am not sure that what you have heard is correct. However, what I will say is this, that your brain can imagine how something tastes based on how that product is either put forward to you when you buy it, or what it looks like, or what you're told. If Bruce tells me he has a biscuit, I may imagine, okay, this biscuit is sweet. So I might be looking for a sweet taste and be either surprised, or I might think it might be sweet. And Rods would eat the same biscuit and be like, no, it's not, it's savory. Do you know what I mean? So the imagination, I think someone asked about that earlier as well.
Sabrina also asked a similar question. So Sabrina, I hope that answers your question. But I'd like to look at Dejeri's question. Why does your jaw sometimes hurt when you eat citrus fruits?
Your jaw?
Your jaw sometimes hurts.
Your jaw?
When you eat citrus fruit.
I'm not sure. I'm not
that
sure.
must be a really hard citrus fruit that you're eating.
Yeah. Maybe that citrus fruit isn't ready. I think you needed to leave that one on the tree. Yeah? You might need to leave that one on the tree. Let it get a bit softer first.
Yeah.
I don't think that's related to taste.
Yeah.
Okay? All right.
10 minutes.
Okay. 9.
Okay. So on your worksheet, we are on question 9 that has Bible texts that are related to our sense of taste.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Which means God talks about taste.
Yes, he does.
Because God talks about it, about everything in his word.
Yep.
Magnificent. The first one. Can I do the first one?
Go for the first one.
Exodus chapter 16, verse 31. And it says, the house of Israel named it manna. And it was like coriander seed. And its taste was like wafers, like honey. I know honey tastes sweet.
Very sweet. I like honey.
Manna must have been good.
Yeah. The next one is Genesis chapter 25, verse 28. It says, now Isaac loved Esau because he had a taste for game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. He had a taste for game.
What is game? What's game?
Is just wild animals.
Wild animals?
Yeah.
So he liked wild animals?
Like deer and
them things there.
Yeah, and I like that one. Deer and them things, man. Yeah.
Deer and them things there. Right. And now the C is from the book of Psalms. The 34th Psalm. Psalm 34 verse 8.
Yeah.
And we know this one well. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who tastes who takes refuge in him. That's from Psalm 34, verse 8.
Excellent. The next one is Hebrews chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. For in the case of those who once been enlightened and have tasted the heavenly gift and have been made partakers of the Holy Spirit and have tasted the good word of God and the powers of the age to come.
Amen.
Twice the word taste is mentioned in there.
That's right, which shows how important tasting is. And again in Psalm, the 190th Psalm, verse 103, and it says, how sweet are your words to my taste. Yes, sweeter than honey. Auntie Rose just said, which means she know how sweet honey is, which means the words of God are sweeter still. Yes, and that's in Psalms 119, 103. And our last one, we're at our last one.
Before we do that, I have a
Really good question from Amos.
Hi,
Amos says, why does my tongue start to feel weird after I've eaten a lot of pineapples?
A lot of pineapples.
Remember we mentioned what the sour taste can do to your tongue. Similarly to the burnt taste, the sour taste can begin to, if you have too much, or if it is too sour, too acid, as we like to say in the Caribbean, oh, that acid. Yeah. But don't go eating no acid or drinking no acid, huh?
No.
Right. If it's too sour, it will destroy the receptors. And then your tongue will start to burn a little bit, because then the new cells under the ones that were on top would be fresh and not quite ready to experience taste. Okay, that's Amos? Amos, a minor prophet. All right, good. All right, we're at number 10. Have we had more? Sorry. Yes.
Is asking, I'm not sure about this one. Is spice a sensation or pain?
Or pain? Pain. I think we dealt with that earlier as well.
Yeah.
So the spicy taste is more of a sensation than an actual taste, because it can vary between the tastes. For instance, sweet chili sauce is sweet, but it has spices in it. Yet pepper, not chili pepper, I want to use Scotch bonnet. Scotch bonnet, however, is actually savory. I didn't know this until I researched this. It's actually savory, but that will burn you. Okay, that will burn you. It's not as pleasant if you eat it raw. Okay, so spice is a sensation. Gives a sensation rather than an outright taste.
And regarding
The link between taste and smell, Sabrina is asking, why does no smell affect your taste?
Remember again that they are connected. The receptors are connected between your smell and your taste. So if you can't smell, if your smell is affected, your taste buds, your ability to taste things will also be affected. So if you have no smell, you're more than likely to have no taste. Everything will taste bland.
And here's a
Really gritty one from Gifty. Why does your nose get runny when you eat spicy food?
That's a very good one. That's actually a very good one. You know why? I can tell you what, because I love spicy food and I'm not supposed to have it. I'm not supposed to have it. So again, the connection between your taste and your taste buds and your smell receptors, when you have spicy food, it also activates or flares the sinuses. So the sinuses open. So because they're open more than normal, then the mucus begins to run a lot freer and flow a lot more. Okay?
press on.
All right, cool.
We don't
Have long to go.
No problem. We're almost at the end of our journey. I'm so sad. I'm so sorry.
I am sad too.
Yeah. Number 10. It's an activity. It's an activity. And this is one that I believe you can do at home. You'll have to be able to do it at home. This activity.
So I think on this one, do you just want to explain?
Sure.
They
So,
need to do at home.
in your workbook, as Bruce has been referring to your workbook, you have your workbooks. You should have your workbooks. As you can see, Uncle Bruce here has a number of items. Now, we want you to get these items, and you have to perform a blind taste test. Blind. So you have to get a blindfold, tie a blindfold, get someone to tie a blindfold, but not show you what you're tasting. Okay? So they have to get the items, blindfold you, or you can get the items, and then you put the blindfold on, make sure you can't see, but make sure it's not too tight.
Yeah.
You understand? And then you have to see if you can correctly identify a minimum of 10 foods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is a method in your worksheet. Yes. On page 5 of your worksheet, the method is all explained right here. Make sure that you have a parent present. Please and thank you. Make sure that your blindfold is not too tight. Yeah. And then you follow each food. Each item has the food name. You have to list that. And then if you guessed it correctly, and you have 3 attempts for each food. Okay?
And the final question
Coming from Aisha, can you lose?
Hi, Aisha.
Can you lose your taste buds for good? Is there such a condition?
You can lose your. That's actually a brilliant question. Now there have been conditions in my research. I do say there have been conditions that affect persons' taste buds for the duration of their life. I mentioned a couple that could attribute to that, which is a low count of zinc in your body, a low count of iron in your body that can affect your taste buds permanently. It's very rare, however. It's very, very, very rare. Okay? But I encourage you to do some more research, and maybe Aisha, you can find me next time you see me anywhere, and you can tell me, actually, I found out something more. Okay? Excellent. Sadly, we've come to the end.
Right. So we have enjoyed this hour that
Yes,
we
we
have
have.
shared the taste honor.
Yes, indeed.
And well done you for writing the honor.
No, it's all for my children. Excellent. You know, it's all for the children.
Excellent.
I hope that you've enjoyed it fully. I hope you continue to enjoy Camporee. Pleasant and happy Sabbath when it comes later today, and continue to subscribe. Remember to tell everyone, subscribe, hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, and follow the SEC Pathfinders page.
And with that, we hope we've given you a taste. A taste. See what we've done?
Yeah,
here?
I like it. A taste
of this honor, and you do more research on it.
Tasted and seen.
Absolutely.
That the taste is good. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided
great presentation this afternoon, right? And like AC Ross would say, that last one was another yummylicious, salivating, whatever licious type of that, you know, honor that we can. And I can see there was a Marmite bottle there, you know. Now I'm sure some people, I love Marmite, you know, a good Marmite toast with avocado pear, you know, makes the best. So I hope you're going to do all those tests and those site tests and all those, and you're finishing your honor. Great stuff, and great questions, great interaction from you guys this afternoon. Show that you really enjoyed what was happening and you learned very well. Now remember, sometimes you maybe went a bit too fast for you. Don't worry. This video is always recorded. You can always go back to the YouTube channel and play it again. Also, your worksheets are on the website there already, and we will get the PowerPoints that's been used will also be on the website soon. So you don't need to miss anything. So if you think you missed anything, don't worry. You can always go back to it, and it will be there for you to do. Now, some people ask, do I have to take pictures to prove that I have done the honor? Well, if you need to take pictures, because we want to see, of course, what you're doing, but you need to complete the worksheet. That's the most important one, to complete the worksheet so that you are able to complete the requirements in order to get that honor. Let me talk about pictures. Remember again, pictures, what you're doing. It's great. We're already receiving pictures, and tonight we have some pictures already put together of some doing the cooking and some they're camping and all those things. Put it together. So share it to us. Remember, hashtag SEC eCamp or at sececamp@gmail.com. Now, remember, some people are sending it through WhatsApp to the area coordinators. Now, you can do it, but we don't want you to do it because we're going to miss it maybe, right? Because everybody will look at the SEC eCamp hashtag, and although we do receive those WhatsApp pictures, we may miss it, okay? And then we don't get to see what you are doing. So if you don't mind, use the hashtag SECECamp or use the email address, and then we'll be sure to find it. Now, finally, I'll let you go. We're having a big break now between 4 and 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., we're going to start our worship once again, 7 o'clock this evening. What time, everybody shout? 7 p.m., right? 7 p.m. It's a Pathfinder focused one, but the adventurers, you're welcome to join. Because this morning we had our adventurer worship. This afternoon, evening, we have our Pathfinders, but the adventurers are welcome to join the worship session this evening as well. So, let me stop talking and see you this evening. You can actually tune in just before 7, but see you at 7 o'clock. Okay? Have a good break and have a good supper and a good tea, good dinner. See you at 7.